Hello friends, it's been a while once again. Since the last tutorial, this shows that I've opened this tutorial game 3 months ago, and since then there's been an known security issue with this Unity version. So if you haven't done this, you should update the editor. You can read more from this link about what it means, but as far as I remember that they said that there's no known events of this security issue being used against anyone. So just if you're close to release, choose the latest LTS version. That's the newest version since what you've used. Or if you want to update to Unity 6.2 or whatever for the very latest features, you can choose that. Since I have that installed, I will go with that. It will ask you to change your version. This is fine if your game is still early in development. It really depends. And then it tells you that the project must be upgraded. So we select continue, and then there is also this AutoGraphics API notice that it has changed. So to change to the new default settings, we need to go to the player settings and re-enable AutoGraphics API. Then it will upgrade the project. It needs to re-import everything, so this might take a few minutes, depending on the size of your project, of course. So the materials in your project were created using an older version of Universal Render Pipeline. Unity must upgrade them. It will re-import all the materials. Yeah, everything seems to be fine. We go to build profiles, player settings. Make sure this compatibility mode is off. So this is the player settings AutoGraphics API. So if we click check on here, it will do this for any of the different platforms if needed. Okay, after that update, let's check if our package manager shows anything else to update for us. It seems Adventure Creator has an update, Unity version control has an update, and Visual Scripting has an update. It's best to just update all of these. Okay, then there's the Adventure Creator update. It's old. 1.82.5 and it's already 1.85. It's been a while. But it's fine. Again, we do the same as in the beginning. We remove the 2D demo and demo from our choices. There are some new stuff here, but let's just go through this. Input system. All of this is new. Aren't we? I think we're already using input system in this project, aren't we? Yeah, it's here. I'm not entirely sure if there's updates to this, but if we download this too, I think we might have to redo our inputs in some way if there are updates. I'm gonna leave it out for now and see if everything works. And there's the templates. We don't really need those, but since we already have those in our project, might as well update those. Okay, then there's again the... I think this is the same warning that comes every time you either download and install Adventure Creator or update it. It warns something about the camera, but you can just ignore that. Okay, those are updated now. Let's test if this still works correctly. It does not. There is a warning. Yeah, a lot of warnings. Input button toggle cursor is not set up. I think it's warning about the input settings we have here. The default ones that we don't actually really use. I'm not sure if this would help to add it here. If it doesn't help, let's put Alt. No. What is toggle cursor anyway? I don't remember. Is it tab? It might be tab. It's there now. I'm not sure if this will work. We might have to download the... Yeah, it's gonna warn about every single thing. Because we shouldn't add it there, we should add it here, and I believe we have those in here, yeah. Yes, it's tab. So, I think we might just have to... These actions are not assigned as the project-wide input actions for the input system. But I think if we set it to be the project-wide input system, then the control... Yeah. Project-wide actions asset is not recommended to be used with the player input because it is a singleton reference and all actions maps are enabled by default. You should manually disable all action maps on start and manually enable the default action map. Jesus, that's a lot of words. And I honestly don't even really know what that means. Yeah, it's still not working. Okay, fine. Let's go back to Adventure Creator, which is here. We have to re-import. We can still remove the 2D demo and the demo, and now it will download the input system. I believe this has been updated, so we'll just have to do it again, I believe. Because it might just warn us about stuff in here. Or maybe not, I'm not sure. Because this is in the download section. This is downloaded from the different place. Or wait, hold on. We need to add it to the project from new game wizard. We modify. Then we add the input system integration from here. I believe this is the correct way to do it. I don't even remember what our character is. Would you like the options menu to be updated with an additional button to access the inputs menu? Yeah. Okay, close. Okay, then there's a bunch of warnings. Pointer related to actions used with the UI module should generally be set to pass through. Let's go there. Okay, it's warning about this, but we need to open this, I believe. So, UI, and then what are you asking me for? Left button. Is it here? Where is it? There's no... Actually, is it set? Our event system, input system, UI input module. Controls. So you're asking for UI left click. It's here. This is it. So here we should choose the action type and set it to be pass through. And see what else it's warning us about. Right click is also pass through. And then is it saying the same? Left click and right click. It's warning about the same thing 2 times. Let's clear that. Save this asset. And if we go to our menu, we have an event system, input system here. So this is the new one. Okay, we should now check if everything works. I hope it does. Okay, it's warning about stuff. The mouse sensitivity went ballistic. We have our input options set included to our menu. Yeah, actually, I think we need to add... Hold on. We don't even have the actual... We are missing some input actions. And we need to add to this event system. This doesn't actually include the scripts for the the thing, the sensitivity. So let's send, what is the name of the script that we need? We have to go back to Adventure Creator downloads. I don't want this to change, so lock that. Go back to the input system, new input system folder. Keep this here. We need to go here and open the scripts folder. It's the scale processor link. We need this to process the sensitivity. We need it 2 times. So the other should be cursor vertical. And the global load variable name is sensitivity, which should still be here. Yes, it is. Great. And here we need to add the player input. So is it just yourself or is it this? No, it's itself, not input UI. Okay. I think that should fix the sensitivity. Then we had also this remappable input remapper controls reader. Doesn't this already has the controls reader? Yeah, that's correct. So yeah, that should fix some of the issues. And then we have to, I think, put these actions again in this. Though I think I could also just use our old controls. So let's see. Let's assign this as the project-wide thing. So it doesn't complain us about it when we change it. So Adventure Creator downloads input system. This is our, let's see, this main controls. Okay. Let's not generate the C# class. It's not needed. And we can delete the control script from here. It just, and it generated a new script. I'm not sure what do you need this for, but if you want to change the controls from some custom script, I guess that could be needed then. That's the first idea that comes to mind. I don't really know. But okay, we have this now. These are not assigned as the project-wide input actions. We don't want that because this has all of the controls that we need, I believe. We only have the one action maps, but I believe that's fine. So in this event system underscore input system, we change our player input to look at these controls. Reference input system UI input module is configured using different input actions than this player input. Should they match? I can fix it. Just let's see what that does. It changed. It's changed just the action assets correctly, so it's the same everywhere. Yes. Okay, that's good. Okay. Now let's check. Is there more warnings? No warnings. Sensitivity is back. Yep. For some reason we hear our footsteps 2 times now. I don't know what's up with that. So let's take a look. Let's see actually. Scene. No, settings. Sample, yeah, we are using sample player, which is also, hold on, is it? It's not from, yeah, did we just update this now? Because it is in this folder. And it is this, yeah. Yeah, I think it's because we updated this with the last update. So it changed something in here. It might have just reset our footstep script. It is possible. Let me find it first. It's here. Okay, footsteps sounds is in the first person camera. Is it somewhere else? I suspect that might be a case. We have a sound child, we have a jump sound child, and a hotspot detector. Generally, I think this is the first person audio, first person slope movement, first person crouch, character controller, jump speed. I'm just gonna remove, I think I copy it and remove the component. First person camera and animator. Let's see what happens now. Do we still have footstep audio? No. Okay, yeah, it changed because it's looking at the animation events. I think that's the case. So let's just add it to here. And it's missing the sound, so it's this, I think. And it's looking at the animation events, but it should go automatically, I think. So let's try that. Okay, it sounds the audio is correct, but it's still complaining. So yeah, we had added, or this had these animation events. So if we want to play automatically, it's fine, because we don't really have animation for our character. It's just a camera block basically. So if we remove just those animation events from the animation, it shouldn't complain about that. Yeah, okay. Let's see if everything else works. We have a brick, we have the pliers, we have this thing. R is the rotate, Q holding that is the throw. It drops that thing. Let's remove the brick. Let's see how well the... okay, our brick is gone. Let's try with this. Yeah, it goes through. The detection for the stuff for the colliders is still, it's not very good. I'm still not sure entirely how to fix that. But we can use the pliers on the nail and the nail on the copper wire, and we have an improvised fishing line, which we use on the metal crate to get the key, which we then use on the cell door. Like so, and then we are out of there. This still, I don't think this works. Yeah. I did something with this, but it's not set up correctly. So I might just go and see what's that about. Door block, door. It has the draggable, but it's not working right now, so let's remove that component. Okay. So earlier someone was asking how to put these 2D characters in a 3D world like in my game for Evelyn 2. Go check it out. Still in development. Demo is available. And it's in early access with 3 chapters open. So I just dragged this pixel art in similar style to my game. Let's set it to filter mode, point filter and no compression, because that fucks it up. Texture type should be sprite. With multiple sprites, pixels per unit 35, I think. And yeah, I believe everything else is fine. So we don't have the 2D sprite package, so we need to install that so we can make it work correctly. Okay, we have the sprite editor here now. So We want to slice by grid cell size. This depends entirely what type or size of sprites you have, but I have 72 by 72. And then our pivot point, okay, come back here. Slice that first, apply. Move the pivot point to the feet of the character. Don't move the entire area, just the pivot point. And it's at the feet. Custom pivot is X 38 and Y is 1. So we go to slice, pivot point custom, pivot unit type pixels, and then we put 38 and 1 and slice and apply. And now the pivot point is the same in every sprite. Okay. That's done correctly. We can drag one of the sprites into the scene. We now have a 2D character in our scene, but it's still just a sprite. So we go to Adventure Creator Editors and Character Wizard. We select NPC, drag our base game object here, and just select whatever name you want it to be. This is a scientist, let's say. So it should use animation engine, sprites, Unity, and motion control should be... It doesn't really matter what you choose here, because we're going to remove either the rigid body or the character controller, because we don't really need those. Because this character is going to be using just 2D. It's still by default, because probably because we are in a 3D scene, it just chooses mechanism. This is a bug, I believe, so I should tell Chris to fix that, but we should use sprites. And remove the talk name, idle and walk name. We choose scientist underscore idle. Copy that to the next step and scientist underscore walk. And we can use the same for the run, same animation, because we don't have separate animation for the run. Walk speed scale maybe 3. Retro style movement. Let's go and remove the character controller. We don't want that. Ignore gravity is fine. And play the sounds automatically. Let's choose something like that for the walk and run separation. Auto detect surface, we put the default in the layer mask. I hope the layer mask would choose default by default, but no. Because that's what we are using always. The capsule collider is too big. So let's make it smaller, fitting our character. This also depends on what kind of character you have, obviously, but just make sure it's like the size of your character about. So that's fine. Footsteps audio, this is just for the footstep audio. So select this is like the main object of your NPC, and this second one is the sprite. So here we want to do the animation. We create, and now we choose the same name, scientist underscore idle underscore D, and this we will use for every direction we have. So this is the down idle, then we go left and choose the left facing sprite. This also depends how many directions you have. You might have 8, but we are only using 4. Then we go right and choose that, and then we go up, and it's this. Okay, and then we will do the same thing, but for the walk. Save that, and then we just select all the walking sprites, drag them here. This is what works for me. Drag this to where it's at the 20 mark, and then copy the middle one, which is the idle technically, and then just place and copy them to 30 and 40. So that will be a smooth, nice animation for our character. And this we also copy to each of the directions we have. Left, drag it, where it shows 20, what is it, milliseconds, 30 and 40. Copy the middle one there. Then we go right. I can show you what it looks like if we don't do this. So if we just drag and drop, that's not good. We drag it to the 20 mark, that's also not good. We can copy the first one and drag it to the end. It's still twitchy, so we put it 2 times there. And there we go. That is perfect. Now if we would remove any of these, it lags a little bit. So this is what I found works for my specific style of characters. Then the last one up. Same thing. Copy, paste. And there we go. Now we have a idle and walking animations to each of the directions for this guy. If you would want to, you could create material where it takes into account the lighting of the scene, but I'm not gonna do that right now, so instead we're just going to select a color for the character that kinda looks like what it should look like in this lighting, so a little bit darker maybe. He's under the light, but that's fine. He's just standing there taking notes or whatever. We can go talk to him. Let's say when we select the sprite object again, it has the hotspot, and here we add use interaction. You can choose different ones if you use these. I'll just use. Make a new interaction, and here we can add dialogue, play speech, select the character, and he can say something peculiar. Yes. And then let's say the character can choose from different choices. So go into scene and add conversation. It goes into logic conversations folder in here. And here we can add new dialogue options. We can have for, let's say, we can ask what is this place. We can ask who are you. We can say I like cats. We can say, yeah, that's fine. Then we go start conversation. We select our conversation here. Because I don't want to do the different dialogue option like events under each of these, I'm just going to override the options and add our comments into each one of these. What is this place? Prison. Who are you? Scientist. How imaginative dialogue we have here. I like cats. Me too. And back off is just we're not talking to them. Yes. And like this you can branch your dialogues to whatever you want. You can add more conversations. You can add more like choices to the player and branch off your dialogue however you want. And then there can be like skill checks or whatever. And stuff like that we can add. Maybe we can ask for something from this guy and he will give us an item or something. But yes, I think that should work. We can also make so the character we added is walking around. So he will have a path. Make sure it's on the same level. You need to have your gizmos shown for this to like be able to move this. So we can then add a node. And let's place it somewhere along this plane. Add more nodes. Don't move, don't do that. Don't move it down because then the character might just go underground. So keep it in the same level. He will be just going around in a circle here. Just outside your cell. add nodes as much as you need to make your specific path. And then we can add either loop, ping pong, forward only, random, or reverse only. Random could be fun, then it can just randomly choose which place it's going to. So it has like, yeah, it can randomly choose whatever point it wants. That's fun. Okay. And to make this make sense more, when we talk to the scientist, he will immediately, well, we haven't set him to be walking yet, so we can do that first. So on start, we can add immediately when scene starts, we can run this and make sure our character, well, first let's make sure this is, it doesn't need to go running background because we don't need to wait for this thing to complete. So move along path, we choose our scientist and select our path that we created. And starting node, let's go random here too. It also has a first specific or closest, and yeah. So it will randomly move to a point of the path and then start randomly moving to any of the different points along the path. We don't need to teleport to start. So now, when the game starts, this character is moving along this path. When we talk to them, we go character, move along path, and we set our scientist to stop moving and stop instantly. I believe with this kind of 2D character, we should always use stop instantly. Also in the, if we use character face direction or face object, these kinds of characters, they don't really have an animation where they like gradually move to face this direction. So that's when we need to use is instant, because then otherwise it will just freeze the game. So let's move that. So stop moving, copy that and move to front. So it's in the very first one when we talk to this guy. And after we've talked to this guy, we can drag all of these choices to, so the scientist starts, it resumes its last set path. So then it just starts working again when we talk to them. Okay, save. Let's see if it sounds, it has its movement sound. It doesn't actually, yeah, actually I know what's up with that. When we created this character, because it randomly decided to use Mechanim instead of Sprite Unity, it didn't add our sprite child here. So let's drag that sprite child here. Now it will play the animations. And also let's make it move slower. It was pretty fast, it seems. And you can look at his animation and his speed. We can like try to match the speed to the walking animation sounds. Fiddle around with those as much as you want. He will be moving there. We just have to get out of here first. So let's do that. So we can actually talk to this guy. We will need the pliers. The pliers are very in a dark spot, so we have to do something about that. There we go. We have our fishing line. Take the key. And use the key on the door. Now we can talk to this guy. He stops, he said something, and we have input actions not found for the dialog options. So that's fine. What is this place? A prison. We can talk to again. Who are you? A scientist. Yeah, there was a, I might have left something there. I like cats. Me too. Yeah. Let's try the who are you again. Scientist. There's a slight weight there. So I believe I might have done a little mistake. Yeah. Sometimes when you scroll around this and you might notice that you've accidentally clicked on the wait time offset. So this here, it forces us to wait this specific amount of time after this line. Try to make sure you don't accidentally click that unless you want it. But I could just have this completely removed. Okay. So if you want to choose your dialog options with your number keys, let's say, you can add all of these to your input actions and with these names and just add them to your numbers. Let's do that. So go to our input systems. These are the new controls. So we have to do 9 of these. Dialog option. Copy that, add 1 to that, and then we can actually, well, we can just duplicate this. Oh, it adds the number automatically. That's great. That's good. Good job. Unity does something right for once. So, binding, just listen to your keyboard or whatever you want to use. Just use these numbers. This is how it makes sense. And then 5, listen, press 5, find it there. Using control scheme, I guess you should make sure it's used in your mouse and keyboard scheme, but we're not really changing our control schemes, so it doesn't really matter. I haven't noticed that this really makes a difference either way. It will still have the button there. No, not any key. Press any key to select dialog option 6. That makes a lot of sense. No, it doesn't. This is 7, 6. We have 8. Listen to 8. Mouse and keyboard. And then lastly we have 9. And add that. Save asset. Go back, clear the console. We can try. Can we actually talk to this guy through the bars? I think we could. Yeah. Hi. How far is our... Yeah, it's fine. Peculiar. Dialog option 9 not... Oh, it still doesn't find those. Did I mistype? Dialogue. 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 I'm missing a little letter there. Sorry about that. I am blind. I don't know if you hear it from my voice, but not really under the weather, but like not in the perfect condition either. So yeah, save that, clear that, try again. Then we go talk to this guy again, and we have no warnings. He likes cats also. Who are you? Scientist. Yeah, of course you want to make more varied dialogue and stuff, but that's the basics of how you create what the player can choose and whatever. So yeah, there's that. Okay, I think that's good enough for this tutorial. Again, sorry, there hasn't been many uploads either way. I've been busy. There was the Finnish Games Week. My games was part of that on Steam. The event was on Steam front page for some time. I got a lot of new wishlists from there, so that's great. And I've just been working on Forever 2. I wanted to get that chapter 3 released for the Finnish Games Week, so I was busy with that. Now I'm busy with working on chapter 4. I want to get it out as soon as possible. Basically, I just want to finish the game as soon as possible. Then there was Unity's 20th anniversary game jam. I joined that, made a game within 48 weeks, Veil of Rust. It's a very simple escape room style game. I believe that might be my next big project. I'm going to expand on that. So go check it out if you're interested. It won, I believe, the 3rd best narrative design. But not like on the overall scale, but just the narrative. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, it got pretty positive reviews anyway, so that was nice. It's just very short. It just only takes a minute to beat the game, but I'm gonna enhance that, change that a little bit, add more lore and story to it. It's still gonna take place in the same world as my other games. So yeah, okay, that's good enough for this. Ask away if you want some specific kind of stuff, what you want to know how to do. And yeah, I'll try to give you some answers to that. I'll try to be more active. No promises though. Okay, thanks guys. See you later. Bye.